We did a video recently on how to warm up the engine effectively, and I got so much feedback, so many comments on it. I just felt I had to answer a few of the common questions that were cropping up and a few different things that people were saying about the best way to warm up an engine. A lot of people were advocates of idling the engine and just leaving the engine idling. Interestingly, in very, very cold areas, this seems to become the accepted habit. So is there a problem with just leaving your engine idling? If your engine is idling to warm it up and the car is covered in ice and snow and you do have to wait before you can drive off for some heat to get into the car, is that the best way or is there another route? So this video, we're just going to discuss the problem of idling cars for excessive periods of time. We're going to answer the question as to whether this causes damage to the car, some of the potential problems that come from that, but a much better approach to get you on the road more quickly and to protect that engine from those potential problems. So when a car is idling, it is just dribbling enough fuel into the engine to keep it ticking over, to prevent it from stalling. On a cold engine, it's doing its best to avoid stalling, and it's so much more likely to stall because it's not kicked into its closed loop circuit in most cases. Obviously, it's going to depend a little bit on whether you've got a diesel engine or what your engine type is and how the manufacturers have actually designed that engine. But for most engines, they will idle fairly high. The revs will drop a little bit as the temperature starts to rise. And then when the engine is up to operating temperature, it will drop right down to the usual tick over that you experience. So during that idling process, the minimal amount of fuel is used, so it's not there to raise the temperature of the engine. An engine will in fact take substantially longer to warm up when it's just idling. Some people have quoted 15 to 20 minutes in some cases in these extremely cold climates for the car to get enough heat in for people to be able to drive off. Cars will idle almost indefinitely all the while they've got fuel in the tank. So the RPMs are relatively low. Things in the engine are moving fairly slowly. So with the exception of the very first bit, when you first start the engine and the oil is not up to temperature and it's not circulating, there's going to be more wear and tear in that initial period. But after that, things will be fairly gentle and that engine will go through the whole tank of fuel. You'll probably get a lot more moisture building up inside the exhaust system because the combustion process, it's using less fuel, it's just doing what it can to tick over. It's not trying to put more heat in, so those vapors will tend to collect in the exhaust. I've seen cars at shows where the engine has been idling for long periods of time and you can see the water burbling out of the exhaust at the back. So certainly a lot more moisture buildup. That's not great for your exhaust system. The fact you've got water in the exhaust can increase the corrosion on the exhaust. Items inside the exhaust like the catalysts, the DPF filters, they're not really designed to be submerged in vast quantities of water or moisture inside the engine. So it's not great. It won't particularly do much damage just having the engine idling and having lots of moisture building up. But it's going to take a toll really on the engine oil. That's going to absorb a lot of the moisture. So the engine oil is going to become diluted and less effective at lubricating the inside of the engine. So in a lot of cases, you're just storing up potential future problems or creating a need to service the car more regularly rather than doing direct damage to the engine itself. In some cases where you've got a mechanical water pump, the coolant inside the engine is circulating a lot more slowly when the car is idling. There have been instances where people have overheated an engine just because it's idling, but in most modern engines you don't have to worry about that. They've been very well designed and it's pretty unlikely that an engine is going to overheat while it is just ticking over. But is that the best way of warming up the engine? What can you do? You can't drive the car because it's not safe to do so with all that frost and ice. It's freezing cold inside. You need a little bit of comfort. So rather than just leave your car idling on the drive, the recommendation from people I've spoken to and my own opinion is that you put a little bit of load on the engine, you increase the RPMs. So the amount to which you do that will depend greatly on the engine itself. You won't be looking to rev the engine like crazy. In most cases, people will add about 200, 300 RPMs. That's all you need. Just that little bit of load takes it above the tick over and gets that engine into the zone where it is starting to warm up. So some people will hold back and wait for the initial revs to drop, the oil to start properly circulating. In reality, that will only take about 30 seconds on most modern cars, most modern engines. but you certainly don't want to be sitting there with a brick on the accelerator pedal to warm the engine up quickly. You want to avoid those high RPMs all the while the engine is still potentially cold. The other downside really is the environmental impact. An idling engine is burning lots of fuel over the time period that you're actually using to warm the engine up. So if you look at the amount of revolutions in the engine, the wear and tear over a 15-20 minute warm-up cycle, and compare that to the emissions and the amount of revolutions you would get in a 5-minute warm-up period where the engine is under load, you'll see that it's less harmful to the environment. It's less wear and tear on the engine itself overall, just to get the engine up to temperature as quickly as possible. And it certainly means you can just get in and drive the car off a little bit quicker. You're not waiting for tick over to do its work. Now, I know there's going to be people out there that disagree with me. As with anyone, you just pass on the information you've got based on your own experience, your own circumstances. There are going to be exceptions out there. Please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Do you agree with what I've said? Do you disagree? Have I missed something out? If you could complete my knowledge, if I've missed something out, I'm always grateful. I never take the view that I know everything. I'm always learning. And I've in fact learned a great deal from you viewers on this channel. You've passed on some really interesting viewpoints, some tips, some questions for me to research as well. So I welcome all of your comments. Thanks for watching. Please boot the like button because that really does help us to get out there. And I've lined this video up for you that you should find interesting to just improve the long-term reliability of your car. Thanks for watching. See you in this next video.